All right, welcome back. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. The last time I put out a video was April 30th, around here, I believe. We're looking at the S&P 500. I mean, this is going to be a stock market analysis video, but it's also going to be a video about how one sees the stock market. Um, I've I've reviewed some of my old videos. I'm gonna put them up. Um, I'm gonna put them up and kind of talk about them. But the one thing about analysis, especially for me, I mean, for other people it's fine, whatever. But for me specifically, when I think about analysis and the analysis that I do, the one thing that matters to me is that I'm making progress, right? And because I haven't been logging my progress, um, it's been kind of a challenge to see whether I have actually made progress. And I watched my last video. This wasn't actually my last video. This was one of the, I think this was one from late January. So maybe somewhere around here, I was looking at MicroStrategy. Um, and I can say definitively that I've made quite a bit of progress in terms of the way in which I analyze the market. And I'll just go ahead and say what that is. So I spent about 30 minutes in that video talking about essentially talking about what I describe as the narrative, which is the story that is used to explain market behavior. And I'll just go ahead and pull up MicroStrategy here. What is the story that's used to describe market behavior? And so it was late January, so it was around here, right? And I was basically saying that, look, MicroStrategy is not an infinite money glitch. Right. Um, I'd even tweeted at that time that I thought that MicroStrategy was going to come down to about 100, and that's where we basically are right now. And it's remarkable that we've come down this far. But what's more remarkable is that I was concerned about narratives at the time. Now, what's important to know is that since then I've essentially come to realize that market narratives actually don't matter. Um, when you're looking at markets, when you're conducting analysis, what you're essentially doing is you're trying to find a decision, right? I mean, what you're doing is you're essentially deciding. And if you are a long-term investor, great. Your decision is to buy the index and shut up and not think about it, right? Just to buy the index, whatever. And if it goes down, maybe you buy more, but you never sell, right? Which, I'm not gonna there's two ways to look at this. The one way is that this is incredibly overbought, and the market is essentially having no pullbacks. I mean, we had a 20% pullback here, then a 10% pullback here, and then like a 2% pullback here. And so we're essentially, this move higher is accelerating, right? And so I actually fear that we're going to get something like a blow off top here. But I also don't think, given the structure of this move, that it's going to then collapse. Like I don't see similarities to the dot-com bubble, and there's lots of factors that suggest that. And when I say similarities, again, I mean technical similarities. I do not care, nor do I believe in the narratives. It's almost impossible to actually navigate through the narratives because stories are stories, right? What matters are the technicals. And so, in that last video, I talked about the DMI, that it was an important indicator, but I'll be honest, I don't think that I fully understood or appreciated just how important the DMI is as an indicator, right? Until recently. So, it's essentially produced something that I want to kind of outline here, and hopefully I'll be able to understand it a little bit better. But the point of this video, which again I'm just going to post out here, this is just a sort of, hey guys, I'm back sort of video. The point of this video really is to show that you shouldn't be looking at narratives, right? Respectfully, you shouldn't be looking at narratives. What you should be looking at is the technical indicators and how you navigate them. I'm convinced, actually, I'm fundamentally fully convinced that there is actually the narrative is not real. Whatever the narrative happens to be, it's not real. and that true traders, true investors literally just only care about the technicals, because that's the structure of the market. And so this video is meant to just kind of take a look at what's happening here and essentially say, look, have I made progress in terms of the way in which I see the market? Absolutely. And that's really what this boils down to fundamentally. It's not about making money, although I've made money. It's about how do I see the market? And the way to see it is through, again, the DMI and the MACD. I might not even publish this video. I might make it unlisted, because it's just not something that I think I need to share or disclose with anybody. But really what I'm thinking of and what I'm looking at here is an idea that, look, you need to understand how the market is structured and how it works. And that's essentially the core of what allows market behavior to express itself the way that it does. We appear to be gapping a bit higher. You know what, I'm gonna say one more thing here, which is aim and direction. So what I've noticed is that when I am looking at the market, and when I'm looking at it and thinking about it in terms of aim, and I've talked about this before in a previous video that I'm gonna undelist, excuse me. When you're talking about aim, what you're essentially doing is you're saying, what am I looking for? You need to know what you're looking for technically, and then you need to execute on it. What I've found is that picking a side works. If you want to go long and make that the only thing that you do. If you want to go short and make that the only thing you do. Do not get confused. Do not, worry about any of this type of stuff. Just pick a side, and what will happen is you'll start to realize that the way in which you see the market changes based on how you see the side that you're picking. Okay, so just a very basic stream of consciousness this morning. I'm not going into too much here, but again, I'd like to restart making videos here and explain to you what my view of markets is, how I express it, and then how that is played out in terms of allocation. So you can see countdown already starting, 5 minutes to market open here. I'm just going to end the video here, upload it, and I'm aiming towards having far more structured videos coming out in the coming days, weeks, and months. So if you are a viewer, one of my old subscribers from way back in 2021, I think that this year, the back half of this year, we're going to see a lot more progress, and you're going to see why that progress is taking place. So have a good one, guys.